The first light of dawn was just breaking when suddenly the valley of Hijr trembled with a painful cry. There was no wind. No one spoke. Suddenly, a mountain rock split right down the middle. Dust rose up, light burst forth, and from within emerged a magnificent she-camel. People stepped back in fear and trembling. Someone whispered in a low voice, "This is the miracle of Salih, peace be upon him." The people of Ad were destroyed because of their arrogance and oppression. Among them were a few believers who had listened to Prophet Hud, peace be upon him. Allah saved them. After the punishment, the wind fell completely silent. In the valleys there were only broken homes and the smoke of divine punishment hanging in the air. The survivors looked at each other and said, "Thank God we listened to Hud, peace be upon him. If Allah hadn't given us refuge, we too would have been destroyed." These believing people left the valley of Ad and set out toward new lands. The journey was long, difficult, and painful, but their descendants needed to find a new homeland for water, prosperity, and peace. The caravan passed through the mountainous paths of Najd and Hijaz. Then they found a fertile, populated area called Al-Ula, where there were springs of water, gardens, and excellent fertility. Here, their lineage began to grow. From here, this nation continued to expand, and eventually their descendants reached the valley of Hijr, which today is called Madain Saleh. This was the beginning of the people of Thamud. The lineage of Thamud became a great nation. Allah had given them physical strength, intelligence, artistic skills, the extraordinary ability to carve rocks, and a natural homeland. They had everything. These people would carve entire cities inside mountains, buildings with straight walls, towering columns, and intricate carvings that even today leave people amazed. According to the Quran, they built palaces in the plains and carved houses from mountains. Their settlements had an imperial system. In the markets there was light, trade, voices, and at night the glow of torches. In the valleys there were gardens, the sweet fragrance of dates, and lush green land. But then they forgot to be grateful for these blessings, and arrogance took over. We built all this with our own strength and intelligence. When power led them astray, their hearts became hard. They made idols carved in the mountains into objects of worship. Forgetting Allah, they began calling upon natural forces. "O gods, grant us great power." They became so arrogant about their strength, wealth, and ability to carve mountains that they would say, "Who in this world is greater than us?" Oppressing the weak, taking away their rights, and treating the desires of their chiefs as law. All of this was as if humans had abandoned Allah's law to create their own laws, and then declared themselves permanently exempt from them.
You deny the power of the gods themselves. Your defiance ends here, worm. Guards, throw this insolent fool into the deepest dungeon.
All of this seems eerily familiar, doesn't it? Among the people of Thamud, corruption, transgression, and sin were common. Their famous saying was, "We carve mountains and build houses. Who can stand against us?" They began to consider blessings as their own power. They forgot that Allah alone gives, and Allah alone takes away. In this very valley, in the noble household of Ubayd ibn Mas, a radiant child was born, Saleh, peace be upon him. From childhood, he showed gentleness, wisdom, light, depth of thought, and a heart inclined toward truth. All of this was evident in him. The elders of the community often said, "This boy is not ordinary. There's great depth in his words." When he grew into a young man, his behavior was completely different. The glitter of the world didn't attract him. He would spend time alone, remembering Allah. Then one night, Allah granted him prophethood. Saleh, peace be upon him, went to his people and said, "Worship Allah alone. You have no God besides him." The leaders of the community laughed. They said, "Until yesterday you were our intelligent friend. Today you're stopping us from worshiping our gods? We thought you were righteous, but now you're forbidding us from things that have been passed down from our forefathers." Saleh, peace be upon him, explained lovingly, "This valley, these buildings, this nature, these are Allah's blessings. Be grateful. Don't commit shirk." But the community's response was,
"Don't speak without proof. If you're truly a prophet, show us a sign."
The leaders said, Bring forth a living she-camel from inside this rocky mountain, then we'll believe. Salih, peace be upon him, went with those people to that mountain and prayed to Allah. O Lord, you are witness, show your sign. Then, in one moment, the color of the valley changed. The mountain split down the middle. A wave of light startled everyone, and then a magnificent she-camel emerged from the rock. It wasn't an ordinary camel. In the Quran, it's called Naqatul Allah, the she-camel of Allah, and an ayah, a sign. Its majesty, its magnificence. The community's eyes had seen something like this for the first time. The miracle didn't stop there. The camel would drink water from the well all day, and the entire well would empty. People would become worried. All the well's water is gone. But Allah had provided compensation for this too. The next day, the entire community would be satisfied from its milk. So much milk that every home, every animal, every child, everyone's needs would be fulfilled. One day, the camel would drink water from the well, and on that day, no one else can take water from that well. The next day, you all can drink water from the well. In other words, one day for the camel, and the next day for the people. But the community couldn't tolerate even this test. The leaders said,
"Our freedom has been taken away. Will a camel rule over our water? Oh, how we suffer."
Their arrogance rose up again. When some people began to believe, anger and envy appeared on the leaders' faces. They said, "Because of this camel, Salih's respect is increasing. If we don't do something, the community will start following him." Then they plotted a conspiracy. Destroy this sign, and Salih's influence will also be destroyed. A wealthy woman said, "Whoever kills this camel, I'll marry my daughter to him." Young men agreed. Tonight, this camel won't survive. When the camel was returning after drinking plenty of water, the killers followed. First, one shot an arrow. The camel's leg was wounded. Then they all attacked together, and in one assault, they killed that divine sign. The community cried out, "We've killed the camel. Now all the water is ours."
We have water, finally! Get out of the way, let me through! Look at the water!
This was the very crime for which punishment had been promised. Salih, peace be upon him, came. His face was pale, tears in his eyes. "O my people, what have you done? You've murdered Allah's sign. Now you only have a fixed number of days left. We don't see anything happening." But then the countdown to punishment began. First day, faces turned yellow. Second day, faces turned red. The air became hot. The sky turned red. Third day, faces turned black. The valley smelled of death. "We've made a mistake." And then, just before dawn, the sky trembled, mountains shook, and a terrifying sound came from the earth. And then, a scream. Such a scream that hearts burst, souls left bodies. All the people of the community were left lying face down in their homes. In the Quran it says, "A single scream seized them." The people of Thamud were finished. Salih, peace be upon him, stopped at the edge of the valley and said, "I explained to you, but you didn't like advice." The plain of Salih still bears witness today that when Allah's signs are denied, nations aren't saved by their buildings, they're saved by faith.
O Allah, have mercy on the souls of my people.
My heart breaks for you, Thamud. I delivered the message, but you refused to listen.
Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Which prophet story would you like to see next? The Nation of Lut, people of Aad, or Prophet Musa?